Busy people and lots of yellies, Worcester hipsters and fat up townies. We have more than pizza in common, with two rocks for bookends. New Haven, New Haven, New Haven, between two rocks.
Hello and welcome back to the Between Two Rocks podcast. This is Josh Levinson. This is episode 16. Thank you so much for tuning in. And just I want to take a moment and thank you all for your constructive feedback. I have been getting a lot of emails and...
Hate mail, would you say?
I wouldn't call it hate mail. I would say strongly worded mails and strongly worded conversations to my face. So I appreciate all your feedback.
Attacks on the street.
And, we're doing our best. We're doing our best. You know what I mean? It's a work in progress, like the blog, you know? Does every link go to a real website? I don't know. Probably not. So, but I just appreciate you hanging in. So anyway, this episode is going to be super fun. You've already heard his voice. Welcome back, Colin Ryan.
Hey, Josh. Good to be here again.
Yeah, good to have you. I'm glad that you made it, and despite the fact that you're still having a hard time with calendars.
I'm doing great. Everything's locking in.
This is your year. I can feel it.
Ian Applegate walking by. Can I point out he walks by every podcast, I think, now?
Yeah, he must know. Do you think he has access to our calendars?
Probably.
He probably understands your calendar a little better than you.
Probably, yeah.
He runs the newhaven.org account, right? Downtown?
Yes, nhv.org.
nhv.org.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lot of followers.
They do.
Somebody was like, oh, you got to do what they do. I'm like, that's okay.
Yeah, there's space for different things to be done.
I'll let them take pretty pictures downtown. It's not really my wheelhouse. So this week's guest, I'm excited to have her on. It is Shayna Schneider, who is the founder of Fitstyle by Shayna. God, you know, She just told me. She's like, hey, it's Fitstyle by Shayna, not with. Just so you know, you had it wrong in your notes. And I was like, yeah, all right, totally got that.
Wow. She's walking out. She's gone.
She's gone. And she's lit a small fire. Well, you know, I get it. Thank you so much for coming, Shayna.
Super excited to be here, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So Fitstyle by Shayna. What?
And you got it right this time.
Yeah. Well, you know, once I make a public mistake, that's a pretty good learning moment for me. The only thing better than doing it on a podcast is on a stage, in my experience. That way you can look at everybody looking at you and be like, you
true.
effed up. So.
But you admit your mistakes. That's a good thing.
Yeah, I think that's
important. Good character. I like that. Okay. That's good. Positive.
I want to tell you. Can you tell that to my parole officer, because I feel like they're a real stick in the mud. What is Fitstyle? Give me like a brief.
Yeah. So brief little synopsis is that Fitstyle is all about finding time for fitness where you didn't think it existed. So whenever you think about it, right, when you talk about exercise, fitness, what's the biggest challenge that people have? What do you think?
Video games. I want to play too many of them.
All right, I could Fitstyle that timing. We'll talk about that. But it's time, right?
No
People are like,
time.
I have no time to do this.
Oh,
so
that makes sense.
If you try to bring fitness into what you're already doing, then you kind of eliminate the biggest challenge. So that's what I'm all about doing.
Do people get annoyed when you expose that they do have time and they're just lazy?
No, because
I do feel personally attacked, I will say.
Yeah, I think general inertia is the hardest part, actually.
Well, I think what it is, I help you change your perspective. So it's not that like you're deciding to be lazy. Instead, it's that you just didn't see the opportunities for it. Yeah.
I feel like I see the opportunity and I choose to let it pass by.
Yeah.
Well, there's always that option. I will say that.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you don't deny my free will. It's good.
Exactly, right?
So that's why you're standing right now.
Exactly.
Okay. So this is an opportunity.
This is Fitstyling.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I'm choosing to stand rather than take the seat.
But who doesn't love a good sit?
Well, I think there are times for sitting. I think just like anything, it's like anything in excess is probably not a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
So even standing 24/7, bad idea,
Yeah.
right? So
Gotta
sitting.
sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You definitely have to lay down for sleep. I mean, you can't fall asleep in a chair, but I'm just saying.
Where other places could you fall asleep? Okay, so you have this business, right? How long have you had this?
So officially full-time, I've been doing it for about 2 years, but I've been working on it probably about 5.
Okay.
And it was interesting because kind of the concept behind it, I would say it's the kind of, I call it the Fitstyle Your Life approach to fitness. I started testing it out on myself and then my colleagues who I was working with.
This doesn't sound very scientific, honestly. There's no random sampling at all. Gonna need to see some sort of study.
Well, I should actually partner with somebody. I mean, I'm here in New Haven, Yale, and all the other universities. I should do that. It's a good idea.
Okay.
Right. You
Sure.
just changed the direction of the business right there.
I'm so unused to hearing that. It threw me off a little bit.
You're like, a good idea? What?
So does the business have a physical location?
No. So, I mean, I am
It's
based
in your heart,
here.
Colin.
Yeah, it's within you.
I would say actually I work out of a lot of the co-working spaces here in New Haven because my services, I actually go to the businesses. So I host a lot of workshops helping people create really a culture of fitness for their workplace. So you can do that for your offices or for organizations. And then kind of the other piece to the workshops, which I think is really cool because it's not like a one and done. You know, you go to a workshop and you're like your mind is blown by all these like really great ideas and you're like, I'm totally going to do that. And then the next day you do none of it. Yeah. So for mine, you come to a workshop and then there's a series of text messages that you get that are based on things you learned in the workshop. So
And guilt.
you get to take me along with you.
Okay.
It's called inspiration. I like to think of it as inspiration. I'm like your cheerleader.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds great. So are these like mass text blasts, or are you actually individually
So they're
texting people?
Yeah, individually texting.
Oh, really?
People.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So you're
This
not
is a
like
very
on a
scalable
group.
business
It's not
model.
like on a group text.
Eventually, you'll only be texting people. That will be your sole
Yeah.
job. You really need to think about how this is going to scale.
There are platforms that help you do that.
Okay. Nice. So you put me into a
Technology
category.
is very exciting.
I would be the lazy shiftless tab on her Excel spreadsheet.
I would just say he needs more cheer.
Cheer. You know, I've been hearing that for about 38 years, and maybe this is the one.
You'd be getting that capital letter stop back from Josh every single time.
It is possible.
I actually set my phone to auto stop, even when Colin texts me, it just stops. I'm like, why? Why won't he unsubscribe? Don't want to go to happy hour.
So do you work are your clients primarily businesses?
Yeah, they're
They want to
primarily
make their
business.
people stop being so lazy?
I think it's that it's showing your staff that you value them, right? Because people make your business. If they're not
Dead worker is
happy,
not a
healthy,
productive worker, Colin.
Yeah.
so true. So true.
And is it to lower healthcare costs? Is that an angle?
Yeah, lower healthcare costs.
That's
I think
surprisingly cheap on healthcare costs.
Let's not get into healthcare costs. I mean, God, that's like its own topic. So expensive.
Small business owner pain.
Oh my God. So
That's why I work for Yale. So that sweet, sweet free therapy. And I need a lot of it.
They do have a really good health plan.
Oh yeah, no, Magellan's great. Honestly, it's almost worth it. If you're very troubled, I recommend working for Yale.
Wow.
I'm sure they like that endorsement.
I don't think that they know I exist exactly, so we'll see.
So how does the business function in terms of the business a client gets in touch with you and you go in and set up the whole thing, or
Yeah,
what?
exactly. So I kind of talk about what is it they're looking for. So we might do a series of workshops with text messages and everything. Or they might bring me in and we'll do something that's more kind of one-on-one and thinking about kind of creating that culture and giving them kind of an assessment with things that they can do, specific recommendations, that kind of thing. And then the other piece of what I do along with the workshops are these Fitstyle walking tours. So it combines, I like to think, exercise and exploration. So I lead these walking tours at a fitness pace, which is about a 20-minute mile. But I like to distract you from the fact that you are exercising by sharing some fun facts about the area that you're walking by. But then also along the way, I will remind you about your posture and kind of just some fun fitness tips.
Are there 2-pound weights involved?
No. Actually, I do not recommend walking with weights. I know that's like a thing, but I don't think it's a good idea because it actually
But it
throws
looks
off your
so
gait.
cool.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
I mean, but then we can just think about that. Is it cool? I mean,
I'm not sure if you're getting the joke or not, but either way. I think you should double down and explain to me why it is. So, all right, the walking tours. That's cool. So I feel like they're accessible for Yale employees. I don't know.
yeah. So actually, Being Well at Yale is one of the departments that actually supports my walking tours. So they sponsor them along with Work Life to provide them for free to Yale
Yeah,
staff.
I was gonna say. I feel like I was looking through some I like to look at those sweet free Yale benefits. And I was like, oh, I could do Fitstyle walk. Probably won't do that.
Oh, come on. There's still a couple you can sign up for.
No, I probably
You're going to get an
will at
email
some
from me.
point. I just hate learning, you know? I like fitness, but
you do not hate learning. You write a blog. You learn all kinds of interesting
Oh,
things.
no. The whole point of a blog is writing totally uninformed things. Just be like, no, this is my opinion. I've done none of the research for real journalists.
What's a typical walking tour? Where do you walk to?
Yeah, so one of the tours that I do downtown, so let's say we're starting near the Yale bookstore, and then we'll head over towards Payne Whitney Gym, and then circle over by, we'll cross over the Farmington Canal, then between the two newest residential colleges, then along this path that a lot of times people don't normally take, up onto Hill House. Then maybe we'll walk along Whitney, and then of course see the Yale Farm as we take the, as I call it, the fitness hill, which is Edwards.
Okay, yeah.
And then we can circle back down into Central Campus along Prospect Street, which turns into College. And then you're into like Chapel Street, and you're hitting all the museums and cool stuff. And then you turn on York, and you're back down to Broadway. So it's a nice little loop, about 2 miles. So
is it like, are you discussing New Haven history or Yale buildings or what? When
it's a
when
whole
going on?
combination. You also need to come on a walk, and then you'll really get a sense
You're
for it.
not going to give it up.
No, well, I'm going to tell you. So it'll be...
I assume that you were a huge podcast fan before coming on the show as well, right? We all know about each other really well, right?
I'm about to tell you the information. I'm not being like super secret. I'm not like,
That's true, because it's a great business model to keep as many secrets as possible.
Okay.
No.
So, yes. Well, what I was going to say is that it's a combination. So it's some history, but it's not all history, because I think it's fun to like mix it up. So sometimes it might be something like, I'll even talk about if it's restaurant week, letting people know that, or like a fun fact about Payne Whitney Gym. So it actually has the world's largest suspended body of water because the pool is on the 3rd floor.
Nice.
Fun fact.
Interesting.
So fun facts like that.
So are these just facts that you knew from going to Yale, or like how do you acquire facts?
Just making them up.
Oh, that actually helps. You
Yeah.
should
That's
write
the
a
best
blog.
part.
I'm just super creative. I'm just like, what would be interesting thing to say about this here?
Why is the pool on the 3rd floor? I could probably make up. It's probably the largest pool on the 3rd floor, right?
Yeah, it's the smelliest building in the world.
That I believe.
Well, it is known as the Cathedral of Sweat. I had actually never really heard that, but then I talked to a few people and they said that. I don't know if that was like during a certain decade or something. Have you ever heard it called that?
I've not heard they call that. Yeah. I
know.
just stopped going because there's just so many bros who go to that gym and they like to slam their weights down, and it just hurts my ears.
Wow.
And my masculinity.
Mainly the latter.
I don't know. I have very mixed feelings of the whole. There's a lot of powerlifting type folks there.
Yeah.
And it's a lot for me.
It's a different vibe.
Yeah. So anyway, but we're digressing.
Well, you could always go to a group fitness class there. Like you can go to one of the boot camps. That's
I
like
actually
more
built
of a masculine class.
I built a gym in my garage, so now I can. I took one more social interaction out of my life, which is just great. I'm really just building up to a world where I don't have to talk to people anymore.
You just bring them into your podcast.
That's right, yes.
The only time you talk to people.
Bi-weekly interaction with humans.
Guys, this is going to get really weird.
I do sometimes, like if I try to do comedy or I do a podcast, but I haven't had a conversation with a real person yet in the day, it's like very awkward. I'm like, I should have spoken before this.
That thing where you first talk and the sound doesn't really come out. How's it going? How's it going?
Or just my ideas are not like quite getting to the mouth in a efficient way. But seriously, how do you research stuff? Like, how do you? Because I'm always kind of like, I have a problem with it with the blog where like I do want to not just lie. Like I would like to be truthful and figure stuff out, but it's like, internet's full of all kinds of noise and
Yeah, no, it's definitely true. I mean, I generally will look for books, right, that have like the history and that kind of thing. Yeah, books.
What is this,
What?
1980?
Crazy. Like the library.
Like an ebook?
And, well, ebooks are great because then you can definitely like highlight and then copy and paste, and then you have like a Google Doc where you kind of like keep all the facts and
Yeah,
interesting
take that,
things.
physical books.
I was thinking 100% chance you'd say Wikipedia.
Oh, well, I definitely have looked at Wikipedia, but the whole thing with there is
It's like
that
not so much about New Haven on Wikipedia, really.
there's actually quite a bit. I will
Okay,
say.
all right.
I will disagree. But I think the important part is like usually I try to find like if I've seen something on Wikipedia, I try to find it in like at least 2 other places that I know are also legit, like are
I
legit.
really did go to Yale.
Like
Public
then
college. I was like, well, close enough.
Make sure it's true. Also, I mean, your favorite thing to do, which is talking to people.
Yep.
I definitely try talking to people, like finding the like city historians or someone who's even like been at Yale for a really long time. They just like absorb interesting, fun stories, and that's been kind of cool. And so I have the walking tours in New Haven, and I'm expanding this summer to Milford, and so I'm actually starting a whole new route and path. So I have to do all the research kind of from scratch. So that's interesting to think like, I mean, I spent so many years here in New Haven and Yale that a lot of this information I've just like heard.
Right, because you
Yeah.
went to Yale, right?
Well, I went to Yale, but that's actually, I feel like not where I learned most of the information I know about
Right.
Yale and New Haven. Because after I graduated, I worked in New York for a couple of years and then Pennsylvania. And then when I came back to New Haven in like 2003, that's when, like, following year, I started working for Yale in the administration. And I worked in the Office of New Haven and State Affairs. So we started doing a lot of like tours and I had to know more information. And it was just, I kind of lived and breathed
And you were
downtown.
like, screw it. I'm starting my own tours. I'm out of here. I'm tired of your stuffed, slow, 28-minute mile, whatever tours.
No, it was actually that I think the reason I wanted to do the tours is because I realized that I took for granted my familiarity with campus and that I would just walk down a path because I'm like, yeah, there's no gate. You can just walk there. And I felt comfortable going all these different places.
Yeah.
And I know that sometimes even if you work there or even graduate students, like you kind of stick to the block that you know and
The
you
one
don't
building that you're
Yeah.
allowed to be in.
yeah. And so I just am like, you guys, there's like a lot of cool stuff here. And I get really excited about this and I like to talk. So I'm like, yes, let me just walk people around and then combine the fitness aspect to it. I am like in heaven. So
Wow.
fun.
Are you local to the area?
So I do live here in New Haven.
Yeah, I mean, are
Yeah.
you from around here?
No, not originally.
Okay.
Originally, I'm from Southern California.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
Too much sun and fitness, and you're like,
They're all
"Eh."
fitnessed out over there.
Yeah,
I know, right?
You had to find a more sedentary place to carve out a niche. I get it. It makes sense.
Well, it was my dad's job that moved us out to the East Coast, and I actually moved to Hershey, Pennsylvania first, so Chocolate Town.
Yeah.
And I actually gave, so that was like in high school. So I've been out on the East Coast like much longer than I lived on the West Coast now.
Right.
But yeah, so I see kind of giving tours as part of like kind of what I do apparently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you came to Yale. That was, I assume, your first introduction to New Haven, you know?
Yeah, except for like the college tour, right? My mom like had us go and visit some different colleges, and so my best friend wanted to go see Wesleyan.
Okay.
And so we were actually here to go see Wesleyan, and then
Nice.
my mom was like, "Well, we're right here. We should just go look at Yale."
Yeah.
And my friend and I were like, "Why? Like neither of us are going to get in there."
Yeah.
So, but we
Familiar
were here, so
feeling?
we were like, "Okay."
Yeah.
And then I kind of fell in love with the place. And then my dad really loved what I said when I came home. I was like, "Dad, I really want to go to Yale." And he's like, "Why?" And I was like, "Because I can just really see myself in the blue and the white and like the Yale across my chest. I'm like, I think it'd look really good." He's
Yeah,
like,
it's
"That
the
is
apparel that sells it.
Not the reason. It's true.
Huh. Never really occurred to me.
I'm like, those are colors for me. I like it.
Nice. Yeah, it's a great palette. I would look terrible in crimson.
Yeah, not a lot of people
look.
look good in red. I mean,
No.
that's
Yeah.
been hurting Harvard for years.
Nice.
No.
So did you like New Haven immediately, or
Honestly, when I was here as an undergrad,
some of the undergrads are kind of insulated from it? Like they live in their own little universe,
well,
I feel like.
I
and
will
then,
say that I lived in a bubble. I mean, I was here in New Haven in like the late 90s, early
ooh,
2000s.
spooky, dangerous
So
New Haven.
it was not as
Not like early
cool
90s,
as
yeah.
it is now, I will
Right.
say. There's just like,
Why wasn't
you
here
know.
yet? That makes sense.
yeah.
Yeah.
I will just say that there were a lot of like, kind of, I think of them as like kind of gap teeth. Like in buildings where it's like, oh, you have a retailer, and then it's like nothing. Oh, and then there's like a bagel shop, nothing, and then you're like, there's a coffee shop, nothing. And so there wasn't a lot to draw you. I didn't think there was a lot to draw me out of campus anyway. And there's so much going on that I was like, and to be honest, I was like completely overwhelmed. I was still trying to figure out how the heck I got in. I mean, given the whole situation now, my parents were not wealthy enough to pay anybody to get me into Yale.
Yeah, nice.
But
this is new information. I don't know why everybody's so shocked. Like, oh, can you believe rich parents paid to get their kids into? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Absolutely.
Rich dumb kids rule the world. So you left to go work somewhere.
So I left and I worked in Manhattan for a couple years, and I loved how walkable everything was, and just that part I completely fell in love with. And
the urine smell wasn't as much for you, or was too many?
Well, it's part of the city life. I lived with it, and so when I moved back to New Haven, at the time I just felt like it had changed so much for me, but I think it was also because I was seeing it with like a whole new set of eyes. I was now a resident of the city. Like that's how I was approaching it.
Right.
And I was like,
not a prisoner of your education.
I'd say like oblivious to it. I like didn't even think of it as a city. Like I was just
in
on
college,
campus.
right?
Yeah.
Tunnel vision.
Exactly. And so when I came back, I was like, this is amazing. I would tell people, I'm like, there was a phrase that we would always say. It was like, New Haven has everything New York has. It's just like one of everything.
Yeah. Pretty good.
But there's like a lot of stuff, and I love eating at restaurants, and I was like, you can travel the world in New Haven. You don't have to go very far, and it's all like walkable. So I love it.
Yeah. Nice. All right. And now you're all in.
I'm all in. Yeah.
Sweet.
I told people it's like my new adopted hometown.
Nice.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. So am I from here? No, but I can tell you like the place on the corner. I'm like, remember when it was this place, and then it was Wawa's, then it was Krauser's, and then it was like Wish List. That's right.
So you're on the inside. What really goes on inside Skull and Bones? What's going on in there?
Dude, I wish I could tell you.
It is so weird that
because you're in it or because you're not in it.
Well, so I think you're allowed to say if you're in it, but you can't say what you do.
Yeah.
So and it is co-ed now.
I was walking by and it's just like they have the Yale groundskeepers like cleaning up the yard, and I'm like, what the fuck is like? It's such a weird concept. I'm like, a secret society gets like Yale groundskeepers. It's like I don't know.
They might pay them. I'm not sure how that. I said I don't know if they pay them. How that works.
Well, no, I'm sure they have old money or whatever.
Yeah.
I'm not super worried.
Well, there are a few tombs all around campus.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're above spooky dead bodies all the time. Sweet.
Is that part of a walking tour?
Yeah, sometimes I do point it out. If I can tell that the tour kind of like wants to know about some of those things. Like it depends. I kind of feel out the tour, so it's like if you come on it more than one time, you might like learn something else.
People's attention is waning. You tell them they're walking on top of a dead body.
Possibly.
Nice.
Maybe that's more the Halloween tour.
Yeah, nice.
What was I gonna ask? Oh, so what's the best way to explore a new city? You know what I mean? So we talked a little about this. Like, I actually traveled recently, and so you said you kind of had some ideas about what you think is the best way to kind of
Probably in a car, you're going to say, right? I would imagine.
In a car.
Oh, my God.
Sitting as much as possible.
How did you know? It's like, it's the opposite of the bus tour, right? It is definitely walking tours. And what's cool is that they usually have like a bunch of different themed ones. And I'm all about, the food tours, the other kind of like themed tours, because they're almost always hosted by a local. So you kind of get more in the know, and like the information that you're getting is just way cooler than if you were just kind of like exploring on the bus tour. It's like you're all grouped and then off you go and then back on the bus and kind of just driving along. You just don't get the same
I like being
vibe
carted around. Bring me, chauffeur, to the next tourist trap. I
agree 100%. I've found the walking tours, I think I associate it with like older people going on a walking tour, but it's super fun. And often when you're in foreign countries, you'll also meet people on the tour that you hang out with later.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's just an easy way to get to know a place, get to know other people there.
Yeah. Like, so my sister and I went to Iceland, and we did this like walking food tour, and it was awesome. And for the points that you're saying, it's like we met a bunch of like cool people.
Yep.
And then so after the food tour, we also found out that they did a beer tour. So it was like we went and found all of these like tiny little breweries that we never would have found on our own, but they kind of like led us on the tour. And I think it was kind of still a little bit of a startup. So they were giving us really large pours of beer.
Nice.
So
Nice.
it was
Gotta
good.
get those reviews.
Yeah, but it was also good that we were walking because you
I
have to
think the
test
best
yourself.
part- yeah. The
Can
best
I
part
make
of
it
a
to the
walking tour, I'd say, is blacking out in a
Definitely.
foreign country. I just walk around with my insurance card just in case I do lose consciousness. People will be like, it's okay.
Go with a partner. Go with somebody who knows you're there.
Yeah, I did a in Edinburgh, Scotland. I did a ghost tour, and about halfway through, I was like, I probably shouldn't have done this because I don't believe in ghosts.
We're buying it.
I was like, this is actually all pretty silly. I mean, it was cool and spooky, but
yeah,
you know.
but you got to see stuff. And
No,
that's kinda
absolutely. They
cool.
showed us like a cool crypt that they had there.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been. It's very strange.
No.
Yeah, Edinburgh. It's like they built this giant castle. Like it looks like a weird fantasy like novel. Like they it's like on a huge castle just on top of like a mountain overlooking the like urban area. I'm like, this is weird. Well, like, yeah, I don't know. It's cool though.
Yeah.
So, cool
Intimidating. I like
yeah,
it.
no, it's very. So you're like, oh, you got a full on castle here, folks. Well done. So, you are involved in. So you're a lady. Okay, right?
Indeed.
I know. It's
I will identify as
pretty
female.
Pretty far to drop that bombshell in the middle of the podcast. And you're a business owner, and so you're getting involved in some like woman entrepreneurship conference.
Yeah,
coming
so
up?
it's more of it's like a networking. Well, it's an initial networking event that we're trying to do because I just feel like I come across a lot of female entrepreneurs and different points along their kind of development, whether that's they have what's called kind of like the side hustle where you still have a full-time job, you're trying to do something on the side, or you've made the commitment and it's full-time and you're just living the struggle. But I feel like there
I like
are
how there was no point of success in any of those stages.
No.
Yeah.
One of those two things.
oh my god. The
Side
point-
hustle or a deep struggle.
Well, that's
they go
because-
straight to shareholder meeting.
Well, I will say I have a feeling that's a little bit of the difference that I find in the conversations between men and women in the entrepreneurial groups is that, yes, success is definitely something that we're all after, but it's also the process of getting there. And I think it's one of the things that we have different ways of talking about it. And we also have different thoughts about kind of what way we want to get to success. And also there are just different challenges that we have along the way. So actually on May 8th, I'm co-hosting a first event that we're calling the Connecticut Network for Entrepreneurial Women, that we're hoping to just get women who, like I said, have all of these different types of businesses, whether they're a founder or co-founder, side hustle, whatever, thinking about entrepreneurship, coming together and just talking and starting there. But the biggest thing that I really want to promote is that women from across the state get together. Because coming from Southern California, right, huge state, Connecticut, tiny. And yet,
Okay, there's no need to drag us like that.
no, but that means like we have such opportunities to like really work together because it's so easy to like kind of get us all together and working together.
I don't know. Have you ever tried to drive to Danbury? I don't even think it's
stop.
possible.
Stop.
You got to take like 63 or I don't know, 34. It's impossible.
Well,
to
okay,
say.
so I will say we could use some work on our transportation, right? Well, and it seems to be a focus, but we'll see what happens.
For sure.
But the whole idea is that if we can really get together and build connections between one another, because I think it's like a lot of times you hear about, oh, it's Hartford or oh, it's Stanford and there's
Yeah,
New
it's true.
Haven.
Yeah,
like
it's all an hour
silos.
away. I mean, we're all just tiny little cities.
And
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
sometimes like barely. So it's like, how can we get together? Can we figure out what some of these.
How can we
kind of
get
like-
together and destroy Hartford? I get it. I'm with you. I don't know. We need to sit down and talk about it. I get it.
mean, I think there are going to be some other topics, but I bet that's on the list.
It's good. As long as it's on the list.
So you started alluding to the differences between the way that men and women think about like getting into the business. What do you think are some specifics of, how the process is different that in terms of your mindset?
Yeah.
Men walk like this, and ladies run a business like this. Is that what you're trying to get at over there?
Yeah. Josh is all messed up on non-alcoholic beer right
I
now.
know.
I should point out.
You're like chugging them down.
We should take a moment to
Hydrate.
oh yeah,
Thank
just
our
take a moment for our
sponsors.
sponsors from Athletic Brewing Co. Just enjoying a nice non-alcoholic beer.
Yeah.
Just to note, they are not yet a sponsor, but if they want to cut me a check, that will be fine.
They're getting a lot of pregnant women through their pregnancies, so they should know that.
and B, my depression. So like that's a pretty big win as well, which is like a kid, except it never really grows up. Oh, we're actually, about a half hour in before we got sad. That makes sense. That's pretty good, actually. What were we talking about?
How men and women approach entrepreneurship. And, obviously this is talking in like broad brushstrokes. There, of course,
Those are the only
Delicious.
brushstrokes we want here. Yeah, don't get too specific.
Yeah.
But I think it's that.
Please make a sweeping generalization. We'll all
I know.
regret.
Please put me on the spot.
Yeah, I don't feel like this is a bad question.
No, but
No, I mean, I'm asking about your personal experience, So it's,
well, I think it's that I definitely want to. I actually still want to have a life and have kind of different kinds of relationships, whether it's hanging out with friends, and also understand that there's. So they talk about in entrepreneurship, there's like always this like kind of trough of despond, like you're just.
She's
like,
using her hands. I really can't describe it. It was like a snake, almost like a sine wave. Please proceed.
Okay. And I'm not so sure that you always have to hit that point. It's like there are these just agreed upon ways of doing entrepreneurship and startups and creating businesses. And I think that women tend to have conversations more about how do I build a company that maybe takes longer than we're used to and still achieve that success, but maybe not at the same, with the same hockey stick kind of returns, and not in the same time frame. And I think that perhaps men are also thinking about that, especially if they are kind of prioritizing, I think, mental health and families and different things. But I just find that it comes up more with women. And so if we can start that conversation together, then obviously it can become a much broader one. But to me, that seems to be one of the things that comes up. And then, of course, there's a lot of the...
But what will my Series A investors think?
Well, maybe...
I don't care. I would love to run a business that just makes some amount of money.
I know.
And, I don't have to, I always found the whole concept of, startups having to have, exponential growth. I'm like, isn't it enough that you just hired a few people and things are going pretty good?
Right?
I don't...
And I think, and whether you're male or female, it's I just feel like people should get more credit for that kind of thing. I wish we could give more accolades to people who are like, whoa, you created a business and you have actually made jobs for 5 people. Mm-hmm. Oh my God, that's actually
cool.
kind of awesome because it's hard. It is not an easy thing to do.
That's right.
So, yeah. So
you made 5 child soldiers. You should be proud of yourself.
It's not always child soldiers.
That's not exactly what I was thinking. But
I would say only half of all businesses are. Okay, sorry. So, you were going to say
I was
something?
going to say, on the fitness side, I appreciate the laughs because we're using our abs. So this whole time, see, little Fitstyle in there.
Oh, you made me
You like
exercise, you bastard. No, it's
You're
great.
welcome.
Yeah. So you like to exercise all the time, just whenever you're doing anything. I was looking at your website, and you were talking about having weights by the TV or even because just if you have it in eyesight.
That is my favorite.
You know what I mean?
Because out of
But what
sight,
if
it's
it's not
out of
arm
mind.
day? I'm just effing things up.
What if it's not arm day? Is that what you said?
It's gonna mess up my splits. I was just I'm gonna be so confused. I got
I understand.
Josh goes to a lot of bro gyms.
It sounds like it.
I'm chalking up my hands right now. It's pretty good.
Well, you can also have a resistance band there, so you can always work your legs.
Oh
on
yeah,
the
Colin
off
brought
days.
one on vacation once. It was great.
Yeah.
He likes to get a good workout before we go out. You know what I mean?
That's the whole point. Are we going to swim today?
We should play some tennis. I was just thinking. Yeah. I know this is maybe not the most appropriate time to bring it up, but
no,
I
think we should plan the whole thing right now. Are you free this week after work?
How about Wednesday?
You guys, I feel totally left out. You don't even ask if I
you
want to
play tennis.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not very good at it.
Oh, you're not very good? No.
No.
Well,
you have to bring someone equally bad. Yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to play with people who are bad.
Okay,
yeah.
Tennis is one of those sports. It's not really fun to play with someone who's not.
You're right. It's
on
You're
your
really
level.
on a similar. Yeah.
Yeah.
You can both be pretty bad.
Well,
but
do you know anyone else who's bad?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We've got a list.
Lots.
Yeah, the list of people who are bad at tennis is very long. So is there ever an inappropriate time to exercise? You know,
I think no, depending on the exercise that you're doing.
Okay.
Right. So
if I'm at a funeral, but I'm like just like doing crunches in my head, that's cool.
So I will say that depending on how you would define exercise, like I think you can start with having good posture.
Oh,
and
boy.
so you could have good posture.
No one can mention the word posture without making you just straighten up.
I know.
Right then.
I'm even beyond that. I just like my body no longer reacts to the guilt.
I can vouch for this.
Collapses.
Colin totally sat up and you were like, no.
I'll just slouch further. Closer to becoming the golem.
So posture, that's number one.
Yeah. And so when you kind of build from that foundation, then that's great. And so that's why I'm like the other option then is to stand rather than sitting down, because then you're basically using all the muscles in
every time
body,
I stand at a funeral, they're always like, get down in front.
I mean,
it's a real problem. So many funerals. When you're in the child soldier business, you attend a lot.
Oh man.
That is not one I was hoping you were going to revisit.
Nobody asked for. I am sorry. I just sometimes it's just there's like this timer inside me, and it's like you haven't said anything horrible for 22 hours. And it's just, and I've been dating this lady, so I've been saying nice things to her, which I think is like it's like a yin yang situation where I'm like, oh, I'm going too far into the good. I need to like dark side myself, like Sith. I don't,
We're
whatever.
the lucky winners of that.
That's right. I just to some extent I feel compulsion to entertain people, and if you're tuning into this, you're probably somewhat familiar with my derangement, so.
No, I'm laughing. I'm having a good time.
I
hope everyone's having a good time.
Right. Exactly. We're not. Your laughter is not an endorsement of my ideas. We do know this. Don't worry. So you went to Yale. Do you think you're better than me?
Oh my god. No.
It has nothing to do with going to Yale, actually.
It's her posture.
I know.
It's her posture.
That's what I was going to say.
Yes. Yeah.
No, it's so funny because it's like you always get that question. I mean, it's why half the time when
do people
routinely
ask you, do you think you're better than me?
Not so. That's like the undercurrent of the question.
Yeah.
That's why you don't say you went to Yale when they ask you where you went to school. It's like, oh, I went to college.
Somewhere
or like,
locally,
Yeah, exactly. Because there's
school.
so many schools here and they're good schools, and so it's like you can
Are they good
you can
schools?
decide and choose which one you want to associate with. So that way you get to know me before you then ask me like, oh, so I guess you got good SAT scores or something like that, and I'm like, really? Are you still asking me that question?
What did you
how
get
old am
on
I?
your SATs?
You were going to ask me that. I knew you were going to ask
that. Actually, I was not going to ask that.
No, I'm telling you. So my parents were the first ones to go to college in their family.
Okay.
And so that was in California. And they went to a good school, but like nobody thought anybody in our family was going to go to like an Ivy League school. That was like, I don't know why you would think about that.
Yeah.
And so, I was in Pennsylvania at the time. And so I was definitely going to go to Penn State, which is a good school, but it's also a state school. And you're like, yes, hopefully you can get like, you get in-state tuition and like that kind of stuff. So that's where I was going to go. Mm-hmm. And then it was like a guidance counselor who was like, maybe you should just try applying.
Yeah.
And then my dad was like, yes, you should try to apply.
You're going to look so good in those shirts. Do it. Well, he was on board fully with this plan.
Well, my dad was like, you should apply to Harvard. And I was like, And this is going to date me, so I'm going to say this. So I filled out the form, and it was a printed form. Mm-hmm. And when I changed my mind...
I was also in that era of printed, yes. Yep.
But then, so I decided that I didn't want to apply early admission to Harvard. Instead, I was going to do early to Yale. I had to use like whiteout on the form to then change it, right? Instead of filling out the whole thing again. Like that is probably like, what whiteout and paper.
So you whited it out and then like photocopied it and then filled.
so.
Oh, that's actually clever.
Wow.
Wow, damn.
I know.
That's why you get into Yale. Yeah, clever. Jeez.
That's why she got in. They were like, wow, this person clearly white out photocopied it, did it again.
Knew what to do.
This lady's
So,
gonna start businesses, make worlds collapse and rise. That's cool.
No. But yeah, I mean, Yale's an awesome school, but you know, I always tell people it's like, first of all, I don't think college is for everyone. I think you really have to think hard about what.
No, I'm
know what
fully
I meant.
agree.
I thought you just meant you have to think hard about college.
No. I know I always sound like a being jerk. I do understand that. No, I'm 100%. I really think that we need to like think more about like not only getting more people in trade school, but not making it something to be ashamed of.
Yes.
And
Oh
just
my
be like,
gosh.
yeah,
I
you
totally
want to like
agree.
have your own like business as an electrician. That's fine. Like not everybody should like be I don't know. Not I don't know.
I
It's tricky.
am totally in agreement with that. And I also think you have to understand to some extent how you learn, because also I don't think straight up liberal arts colleges are also the best for everyone. Some colleges, like it's more helpful when you learn in a way that is maybe a little more structured. And that's not a bad thing. It's very helpful if it can be like more practical and that kind of thing. So so I am like an equal opportunity.
So what did you get in your SAT? No. So your
I don't
sister is
remember.
the Duchess of Sussex. That's pretty
on
cool.
Lifetime anyway.
On Lifetime, right? Your sister is an actress.
Yes.
Actor? Are we
Yeah.
saying? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think
I thought
actor
I
is
thought
cool.
everybody was getting called actor, but now
Yeah.
I feel like I've still seen both, and I'm unsure.
I mean,
I don't
don't
know.
the Academy Awards still use like
Yeah, they
Actor
do.
and
But
actress?
should we listen to those chauvinists? Probably not.
yeah?
you
So
know?
let's go with actor.
Okay,
Let's
we'll
just
say
make
actor.
our own decision.
And if we're wrong, she can correct us.
yeah, exactly.
So she is.
I'm totally gonna make her listen
starring
to this
as-
podcast.
Yeah. Hey, listen, don't threaten me with more listeners. This is fine. So she's an actor, and she's gonna be Meghan Markle. Is that right?
Yes.
The
Yes.
princess.
She's playing Meghan Markle
Nice,
in
on
the
Lifetime.
Lifetime movie. Yes, and it's premiering on Memorial Day.
Okay.
So everyone needs
Clear
to tune
calendars,
in.
everybody.
Yes, please.
I think we're actually playing tennis that day.
Ooh.
I don't
It's
know
in
if
the
we can-
evening, you guys. You are not playing tennis.
Oh,
at
we
that
only
time.
play night tennis.
They have lights at cross, so we can play over there.
That's right. I think we did a lot that hour. So.
Oh my gosh. No, the more viewers, the better. You have to tune in. Because I was saying I was going to have a viewing party. And she was like, actually, it would be better if more TVs are tuned into it. I was
Oh
like,
my
okay.
That is hilarious. She's like, listen, those extra 12 cents are going to move the needle for
Hey,
me. Like,
you never know. I'm just saying.
I know. It won't matter. Yeah. I think they measured like thousands, is my understanding.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I'm just
Okay.
saying.
No, it's fine. I appreciate it. You know, the hustle is real.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's
yeah.
true.
So do you resent her success?
No, I am planning on riding her coattails.
Oh,
Hell yeah.
smart.
That's the
I
way to
have
do
a
it.
whole
Be
process.
part of her posse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So people should know who, if they're getting involved as Fitstyle, this is temporary. You're eventually going to disband this to be in a posse.
No. I hope that I can work with her, and then she's like, oh yeah, I have this great like fit stylist who happens to also be my sister.
Yeah. So what kind of car should she buy you?
A car?
Oh, right. You don't even want a car, right?
No. Well,
I mean, you
sometimes
should
you gotta
have a car.
drive. Yeah,
sure. You got to go to these conferences.
Yeah, I feel like
In your Maserati or whatever.
no, definitely it has to be one that's
It's
electric.
got to be a Hummer, right?
It's gotta be electric.
It's going to be electric. It's Tesla, I guess. Or a Leaf.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I haven't. I mean, the first one that comes to mind is definitely Tesla, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's the cool electric car.
Yeah, it does feel.
Also,
cool.
they only made like 15 of them, so good luck getting one.
No, but apparently now you can actually like easily buy one. I think it depends on which
Yeah, you
one
can
you
easily
want.
buy
If you
one
want
of
the kind of like
$70,000
lame
one
one.
for sure. Yeah, the $30,000 one is less available. Cool. All right. Well, we're doing great. I know that you didn't believe that we could talk for very long, but we're doing a great job. So we're gonna play some games now. Feels like about
Okay.
that time.
Is there like game music that
We
you guys
don't.
play?
I was thinking we should work on it. We should
Yeah.
get some like music.
We should.
Just
We should
public
have sound
domain.
effects going
Public
constantly
domain.
during this.
Yeah. I'm not sure how the producers will
We can
feel
have a
about that.
cowbell.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. I think we could probably plug into stuff if we like plug into our phone. Anyway, we'll figure it out later.
Kevin might be
Sorry.
peppering in sound effects right now. We don't have headphones. We're not sure.
We've actually just been censored this whole time. It's one long beep. Actually, pretty good not swearing. So the first game we play, speaking of swearing, is Fuck, Marry, Kill. but we don't do it with people because we're so respectful folks around here. We do it with concepts typically. And we try to cater it to like whatever. It is open-ended though. It's not like we're not going to give you 3 things. You know what I mean? So you'll have to kind of come up.
I have to come up with 3 things.
Yep, you have to come up with 3 things.
Okay.
So we're going to do fitness fads.
Okay.
You know, because you're a big fitness person.
Yes.
Colin would have had a good idea already if he'd prepared for this.
You switched it. I thought we were going to do the ways to sit or things to sit on.
We were
I
a
like
little
that one.
confused about how. I mean, we could do.
Oh, I was all prepared for
so
that.
she thought alternatives was
Chairs
like,
with no arms. Kill.
Okay, so she thought alternatives was like a separate game.
Yes.
So like a game where like, we would come up with alternatives to something,
Ah.
Exactly.
right? And
Or-
she's like, let's not do this. Let's do ways to sit or whatever, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, that sounded great.
We can do both.
So should we? We could do both. We got a little time. So fuck, marry, kill. Ways to things to do instead of sitting, right?
So we're doing
what was
sitting
it?
instead.
of sitting.
Instead of are we talking about sitting or chairs?
Chairs.
Chairs.
Oh god.
All right. So
Okay.
top 10
I got
things
so
you
much chair
love
stuff lined up.
about chairs. Go.
Yeah, but I don't love chairs.
No, oh, it's gonna be
Those
a
are
tough,
the ones
tough
that
game.
get killed.
No.
Yeah.
I read the New York Times article. I remember. All right.
So
let's just.
are
okay.
there any chairs that are acceptable?
So I will say that there are a couple of kind of these ergonomic stools that I sort of like that actually keep you moving a little bit. So it's like you have to like find the balance a little bit. So it's kind of working your abs. So those I like. I would definitely
What about one of those balls?
promote those. Yeah, the exercise balls. I like those too. I actually have one. I have one
But
in
what
my
if
house.
I still want to have sex with a woman someday?
You should definitely have one in your house.
The
Are
ball?
those bad for your
Oh.
testicles or?
No, it's not very cool. So
Oh,
I don't know.
I see. Yeah.
I
think
feel
we
this
have to
joke
really
did not do very well.
Strike that one.
They
Yeah.
Can't all be gold. The nice thing is, opposed to like doing this at an open mic, is that it's recorded.
Yeah. This one will be here
My
for all time.
failure is eternal. It's good when your failure can outlive you.
So I would say maybe the chair that I would have to kill that's like the worst is the lazy boy. Like the one where it's
Oh,
just like you're
so
there.
comfy.
And that
But have
it's
you ever
like-
played video games in a lazy boy? It's so good. Like one of those, I need one of those like Wall-E chairs, you know? Like in the future,
Yeah.
where it's just huge.
Just
They
get your
float.
your smoothie drink.
That's right. Shoved into my gullet.
So
Sounds
lazy boys, they're
terrible.
dead.
Yeah,
Okay.
I would have to kill those.
I might fuck lazy boys. Those feel great. So the sound that comes out of you when you ease back into a lazy boy is amazing.
I would say I would fuck one of those reclining couches, you know, where you sit on someone's couch and they're like, oh, wait, you can just hit that button and it reclines like
The
a
whole
lazy
couch?
boy. No, just like specific seats of the lazy boy. Like, oh, we turn this into like,
Oh, me too. Yeah,
our
I
most
was thinking
favorite-
exactly
I'm gonna
that.
let you guys take this one.
Two lazy boys built into a
I
couch.
think
Yeah.
that she's not on board for this conceptually.
Well, we all think differently, you know.
Yeah, it's okay.
That's true. I'm giving you guys your space.
I would say
Appreciate that.
I love is those new airplane chairs that make you stand and head over them. Have you seen any renderings of those? Where
No.
it's
What
like
are they?
you're half standing, there's just like a bicycle seat
Ah.
like under your crotch,
Yeah.
holding you up.
I did see that Ryanair was trying to pilot a program that was just standing room.
Yeah,
That's it.
yeah,
You stand on the flight.
yeah. But you have a little.
So how
pod-
do
I
you-
have
how do you go
not
with that
seen
one?
that. Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
god.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What happens when you hit turbulence on that one?
You die. The flight's only
I mean,
20
hopefully
bucks.
they've
Are you
thought about
following this
this.
whole thing?
But I mean, so I do think it's really hard, right, when you're on airplanes and you get stuck in that like middle seat. It's like, how do you kind of just stretch your legs? It's kind of hard to
Snacks.
do. So I do think like having the idea of standing space on a plane is really helpful. So like you can kind of take turns and maybe
Right.
gather in certain places because that's why you always have like the line up the aisle, not just to go to the bathroom, just for people to stretch their
I like
legs.
stretch my legs now. and
I
again.
actually
Yeah.
can't physically stand on most planes. So I actually hate the standing part when we're boarding. It's
Yeah,
hell.
because you're like hunched over.
Yeah,
yeah.
because of my height disability.
Right.
Really, a plane is the only time that there's like short privilege.
Yeah,
You know,
it's true.
that is the only.
Little shorties just
short.
zipping by me.
Yeah.
No troubles.
I just saw some lady just like pull her legs up and just like curl into a ball and fall asleep. I'm like, that is amazing. Oh my God. Could I even imagine? Okay, so let's go back to fitness fads because I don't think the chairs is working out very well. Okay, so fuck, marry,
Sorry,
kill,
Colin.
fitness
I thought we were doing
fads.
great.
No. I'm gonna kill CrossFit because
Thinking that too, actually.
oh, good. No, you
Yeah.
can join the kill parade.
Yeah,
it's not
I
a
think
problem.
I'm on board with that one.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's like it's such a weird cult.
It's so extreme.
So
So
go into your robes. Everyone's wearing tank tops. What kind of cult is this? It just feels weird.
I've tried it a couple times.
Okay.
And
I haven't tried it. I prefer to judge things without
you're like, I'm just
trying
gonna blame
them.
and be like, no. And I really felt like I was going to die like at the end of it.
Yeah,
And so
not in a good way.
And also some of the exercises, like I don't think I really knew exactly how to do them,
Yeah.
but I'm supposed to do them really fast and really hard for like a set amount
Yeah.
of time. And I'm just like, I could really hurt myself.
So there's
you
no
know?
instruction or
So-
anything?
Well, it depends on where you're doing it, right? So I think what's really important, like if you're going to do CrossFit, is that you find a place that has really good instructors so that they can watch you while you're doing the like workout of the day. Because otherwise,
Yeah.
I might want to kill that one.
Yeah, so that's
Mhm.
my kill. How about you,
Yeah.
Colin? You got a kill? Fitness fad?
Fitness fad.
Or just, fitness thing? I mean, CrossFit seems to be not a fad.
Yeah, it's not
But,
really a bad. But I will
pretty-
say, what if,
speaking
like,
of
you could
growing
say a
business
thing
models.
like that whole like the vibrating ab machine.
Oh,
like
no,
that does
that's-
not
I was
help
gonna
you.
Don't say that. That's my fuck. Oh, I love
was
those.
also gonna
Anytime
be
you
my
see that
fuck.
commercial,
Of course it would be.
any product that just shows a man's muscles
Yeah.
flexing without him moving, I
Yeah.
love it.
My
Do
fuck,
not
I
get
think,
rid
is
of
gonna
those.
be that thing where you put it over your abs, the plastic thing, and it shapes your fat into like separate bits.
Yeah.
So it looks like you have abs. That's what I fuck with.
Yeah.
Same here. Those are the best. A kill? I don't know if I have a kill. I'll come back.
I
to
do
that.
like
Alright.
I do like the vibrating the old school like from the cartoons the like
Yes.
band
Just
the
the
around
big
band
belt
around the
around you,
back
yeah.
of yours,
And
like,
you're like, I'm getting thinner. This is great. Yeah, I'm sad I
True.
missed that era. I wish I would just be smoking my cigarette with my rubber band, my scotch in one end.
no, I think so. So my fuck would definitely be Mermaid Fitness
Okay.
because you get to wear you literally get to wear a tail, like a glittery, sparkly tail,
Whoa.
Okay.
and you're at the pool.
Sounds dangerous.
But it
gonna
sounds like
bind your legs
amazing.
and
Like you
throw
want to
you
do
in
it
a pool.
one
Is
time.
that you've come, I like that you've come into the premise that we already know what Mermaid Fitness is.
But you played
Like,
along
you
perfectly
know-
well.
Right.
You
Dove right
know
in.
how
You guys were nodding your head,
You
like,
know
yeah,
how with
sure.
Mermaid Fitness you wear a tail? I'm like, yeah, go on. We've all done it. What is it?
So it's a fitness class that is done in the pool, and everybody gets a mermaid tail that you put on. So it does
It's got to be
bind your
prominent
legs.
ladies, right? This sounds like not a lot of dudes show up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I mean, we're talking about group fitness.
Yeah.
I mean,
oh yeah, true.
most group fitness classes do not have a lot of guys. in
Yeah.
them. Even though I would say, like, I really think guys should try group fitness classes. I don't know why.
I mean, I'll do
you
some
I
guys
love
don't.
yoga. I got a
Yeah.
yoga. I will marry
Okay.
yoga. Actually, that's my.
Wow.
that's my
Okay.
There you
All
go.
right. Yeah. Because I would marry Zumba, but I
Okay.
also teach Zumba, so I'm a little biased.
I've never tried.
Love. Oh my god, I love it. Love it.
What does Zumba entail?
So Zumba, I would say you have to like dancing. You don't have to be good at it, but you have to like it.
Zumba sounds scary.
I actually like dancing, but coordinated dancing makes
Yeah.
me feel uncomfortable.
Well, so here's the thing.
I don't like
Everyone's
line
always
dancing. I don't like anything where I'm bumping into people.
Well, you do have to try to go in the same direction. You don't have
Yeah.
to look like anyone else in the class, but you have to try not to like
I do
go
find it
left when everyone goes
very
right.
mesmerizing that people dancing in unison is just weird. I'm like, this is, I don't know. How
Right.
strange. How did they all know?
Well, in my class, it's because we do the same songs for quite some time.
Yeah.
So you love
Makes sense.
Zumba. I don't know what I guess I want to say yoga, but maybe because I don't do a lot of yoga. I wish I did, but I would actually say running, as insane as it is, and
Running.
it's not necessarily
Okay.
good for you always, but it was like how I lost weight, and also just like I find it somewhat meditative. Like there are moments where I just like the world does sort of sink away, and you're just like I have to keep running because I'm gonna fall over if I don't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It like kind of breaks you down a little bit, and I find that interesting. So,
Yeah.
but you know,
Well, I think when it comes to fitness or movement, it is about finding something that you actually like to do and you find it maybe fun in some way because then you're going to keep doing it,
yeah,
right? So that's usually what I try to encourage people to do. And that's one piece of it. But if your schedule doesn't allow you to get to those classes or do the things at the time, then that's where the movement and the kind of the Fitstyle piece comes in for all the other time.
I'm going to kill running. It's so tiring and hurts my joints.
Fair. Yeah, it's a controversial choice. I know. So if anybody's looking for a different kind of fitness, I am actually starting a child soldier gym.
Oh, my God.
It is super fun. You cannot be above the age of... All right, I will stop here.
The funeral commitment alone is too much. Barely got time to go to the gym.
Yeah,
but you can stand during
it. You do have to have life insurance. I will say I will not take people without life insurance. That is just... I can't cover that. So the next game we're going to play is called One Thing. So basically, we take one thing from another city that we would love to see in New Haven. So, we've given answers like the Promenade in Columbus, Ohio, pedestrian walkway in Burlington. We've had a few answers. We've had some people which have no idea because maybe they've never been to a city. I don't know.
Nope.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't know if you have any new ideas, God. Have you been to any
why
new
don't
cities?
you spark it, Shayna? We'll see if we can think of something on the spot right now. That's what I'm getting at.
I haven't seen these in real life because I heard about, or I read about it actually in a newsletter that I subscribe to called Springwise. But there are these energy tiles that when you walk over them, they produce energy for kind of whatever is around.
Yeah, I've read about this. Yeah.
Yeah, so they have some in DuPont Circle in Washington, and they have, so this one in particular is in Rio de Janeiro, and they have the energy tiles under a soccer field. And so when they're playing the game, it actually provides the energy for the lights that surround the field.
Wow.
So it lights up. Yeah. So I'm like, I would totally want to bring that to New Haven, like these energy tiles. And the other cool part is that it connects with an app, of course, where you can also like earn points. So you can connect it to retailers. Like, could you imagine? I'd be like, I totally want to walk down this like sidewalk so I can get like
in front of the
free
Baskin
apps
Robbins.
somewhere. You see, I think it would even encourage you to walk, right? Don't you think?
Probably not.
No?
I like walking around. I'm kidding around. I walk around a lot. Walking around New Haven is one of my favorite things. So, yeah, cool.
Yeah. So
I had an idea for. Oh yeah, I was actually just in Rio de Janeiro. I'm thinking giant Jesus statue over the city.
How big?
On
so
East Rock?
bigger than theirs.
The biggest?
Also should be covered by extremely treacherous one-lane roads that fly up a mountain. There's something really riveting about thinking you're going to die. I think it's nice.
That's one of the modern wonders of the world. When they came out with that list of like the updated modern wonder or the wonders
it's
of the
pretty
world.
impressive. I got to.
Yeah?
The thing
It
is
is.
huge. Yeah,
It is.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm not a religious man, but I was like, wow, it's
So
pretty.
it's big. The thing about
It
it
is
is
huge.
big.
Yeah, you can see it from everywhere.
Yeah.
They really want him watching out for them.
And the guy up there is Jesus. Okay,
Yeah,
I believe
Jesus.
Jesus up
Yeah.
there.
just to confirm, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a plaque right up there that says so.
It identifies it in case you're.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Christ the Redeemer. Yeah. There's actually a story they were saying how one of the initial designs had him like holding a globe, but like from far away it looked like he was holding a soccer ball. And so all the Brazilians were voting for that, and the Vatican was like, no, we're not doing soccer, Jesus. All right, that's not.
So I would do one thing I would bring. I don't know if it's I think it's at like maybe JFK Airport or something. Those displays on the wall where when you walk by they kind of move as you walk by.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if anyone's ever seen these, but we should put them
Yeah.
everywhere. That would just be incredible. It's just fun. Just makes walking around more fun.
Yeah, it's like an interactive mural.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can change it all the time.
Change
too.
it all the time.
I love it.
I don't
That
know
sounds
how they
fun.
do it. I don't
Finally,
understand
we can
it.
put Quajo out of business.
Definitely.
Oh
for
no,
you.
it's just the next level. It's like,
Yeah.
So like
No,
the
I
awesome,
refuse to
like,
hire
painting.
him. I've had enough of I have enough of him making me look bad with his snappy dressing.
I know he has like serious style.
He does, yeah.
Really does.
It's fine. You gotta sometimes you just have to know that you're not that fashionable.
It's true.
I'm just trying to be
I'm not trying to compete on that level.
No,
yeah, I'm just trying to
exactly.
look okay. I'm like for a
Passable.
straight white guy, I'm just trying to do okay.
He's got articles of clothing I don't know the names of, so
Yeah,
it's just
exactly.
I'm not trying to get involved with it.
Is that a cummerbund? I don't know. Okay, well that actually takes us to about the end, which is amazing. I know you had,
Cool.
you're like, can you talk for an hour? Yeah, I know. It sounds
Apparently,
crazy,
it's
but we
true.
do it anyway. Because, sometimes it takes a while to build that relationship,
I get it. I feel totally bonded now with you guys.
That's
Wow,
great.
nice.
Yeah. before you go, is there anything you want to plug, like the coming up that you know?
Yeah, I want people to come take a walk with me. So you can look at the whole schedule of walks at fitstylebyshanna.com. And if you
That is
have
on
any,
the internet, if you're not sure. Yeah.
And if you have any fun facts about New Haven
if you want to make
real
up
or made up.
yeah, sure.
Doesn't matter.
DM me, message me.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yeah.
Slide into her DMs with those fake facts. That was on you. That was your
You're
fault.
welcome. I set you up for that.
Yeah. This Saturday, I am at some brewery in Old Saybrook. I want a 30 Mile Brewing. I'm at a comedy show. I think it's $10. I don't know. Starts at 8 p.m. Come hang out. If you have a specific joke you want to hear, I'll tell it to you because I have no values or principles. So
Wow.
yeah. New year, new me.
Don't tell someone else's jokes. Just tell them what you want to hear.
Exactly. You want me to go Andrew Dice Clay? I'll do it. I don't care. No. But yeah, come out if you want. Yeah. And go to betweentworocks.com and Baobab Tree Studios. Thank you so much for having us here.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Shayna, for coming on.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks a lot. It was great.
Yeah.
Fun times.
And we will see you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Cool.
Busy people and lots of yellies, Worcester hipsters and fat up townies. We have more than pizza in common, with 2 rocks for bookends. New Haven, New Haven, New Haven, between 2 rocks. Ba-da-da-da, 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 ba-da-da-da. Between 2 rocks.